Whoa. Take a look at that. And that, my friends, is the foundation. Hey folks, Mike Whalen here, day after Thanksgiving 2020. Sorry I don't have a mask on, but we're out here all by ourselves. We are here today in Chesterfield, Missouri. We were out here a couple weeks ago excavating this land, preparing it for this most important stage of construction, which is forming up the foundation. Now, this is a big foundation. This is a 10-foot pour, guys. It's extra thick, requires a lot of extra steel reinforcement to make sure that it can support the weight of the house, but it can also support the lateral forces on the side from hydrostatic pressure and all that kind of boring stuff. But this is really a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful foundation. Shout out to B&W Foundations. They've been our trade partner for foundations for the past 17 years. You know, when you think about it, what is the most important part of your house? It's this first building block that we're going to frame everything on. So it's got to be flat, it's got to be straight, it's got to be level, and most importantly, it's got to be strong. Just so happens that our friends at B&W not only pour a beautiful, straight, flat, strong foundation, but they also take really good care of their forms. They keep them clean, so when we pull them off, you have a good looking basement wall. So let's take a little walk around. So you'll notice over here, this foundation is really short. This is what we call a short wall or a frost wall. So for this particular home, the garage is separated from the main structure of the house. There'll be a breezeway right through there, okay? But why the short foundation? Well, in this part of the country, we need to make sure that our footing for the foundation is below what we call the frost line. This section of foundation is already poured, okay? And it's 30 some odd inches tall. Why is this 30 some odd inches tall and this is over 10 feet tall? Well, this is the house, this is the garage. So we refer to this type of foundation as short wall. Sometimes we call it a frost wall. So the garage will be built on this. We will clean that area up and we will fill it with 1-inch limestone, just like this, and we'll level it out real nice, and then we'll pour a nice beautiful concrete slab on there and get that looking great. So this house is a little bit different than what we normally see. We're kind of standing in the courtyard area, and the garage is separated from the main structure of the house. This will be a nice beautiful breezeway, so it's really going to be cool and fun to watch this house come together. So anyway, this frost wall, this short wall, it needs to be over 31 inches, I believe, below the grade to get below what we call the frost line here in Missouri. We don't want our foundation to wick, to absorb moisture and transfer it up into our lumber. So that's why we want to make sure that we get that footing below the frost line, okay? So obviously this will be below the frost line. Most of this foundation will be 9 feet, you know, below grade, our final grade, our yard, our driveway, whatever. But it's real important that you pour that frost wall correctly. A lot of times we do the same thing with back patios and decks and porches and things like that. You know, it's just more structurally sound to put a frost wall underneath the structure than to pour it on a concrete pier. Concrete pier is a little bit less expensive. That's just a hole in the ground. You guys have all seen it, a post holding up a deck, and that's fine. But you know, 20, 30 years from now, that could move, or you could have to replace it or repair it or shore it up. But you know, when we do these frost walls, these footings, and we do them correctly, you know your structure is going to be safe and sound. So anyway, we look forward to seeing you all next week, and we're going to have all of these concrete forms pulled off. You'll be able to see this foundation in all its glory. We'll probably be waterproofing at the time, and we can talk about that process. So happy Thanksgiving to y'all again, and look forward to seeing you next week.